Have you ever heard about a bowel perforation following appendix surgery? You haven't? Come on in, I want to share something with you. I'm Gerry Oginski, a New York medical malpractice and personal injury trial attorney practicing law here in the state of New York. In today's video, I want to share with you a story about a young gentleman who had belly pain and was diagnosed correctly as having appendicitis. The doctors went in to perform the surgery using a procedure known as a laparoscopic procedure. And they insert instruments through tiny holes into the abdomen. And one of them is called a Verries needle, which is punctured into the abdomen in order to inflate the belly. And the reason they do that is so that now they can insert a port, which is another instrument through another part of the belly that will allow them to visualize through a camera and see what's going on. And through another hole, called another port, they will now insert an instrument which is usually a cutting instrument. So with one hand they're using the device to visualize on a screen, on TV screen, exactly what's happening, and with the other they're using it to manipulate and cut. In evaluating this case with the young man and his parents in my office, I went through and told them that the key in that case is not the fact that the injury occurred following the appendix surgery, but the failure to recognize that it occurred. That's the key in that case. More importantly, I asked them, what injuries, what disabling injuries do you have now as a result of that particular wrongdoing? And the reality was this young man did not have any significant disabling injuries, which was good for him from a physical standpoint, bad for a possible case. So that was the primary reason why I could not help them, even though we could in all likelihood show that the doctor failed to recognize that he missed the puncture holes, and they failed to recognize it while he's in the hospital over the next 6 days before finally coming to the conclusion that he had a perforation in his intestines. So why do I tell you about this? I tell you about this because you may be watching this because you have questions about somebody who had a perforated intestine, somebody who developed sepsis, and now you want to know more. Well, that's what I'm here for. I answer questions like these every single day. What I want you to do is two things. I want you to press that button below that says like if you're watching this on Facebook or YouTube, so that all of your friends can get the benefit of the same information that you just got. And two, I want you to pick up the phone and call me. I can answer your legal questions. You can reach me at 516-487-8207 or by email at lawmed10@yahoo.com. I'm Gerry Oginski here in New York. Thanks so much for watching.